Hey guys, how we doing? On this episode of Let's Talk, we're going to be talking about why you should not give up on the Book of Boba Fett just yet. So currently, there's a lot of people who are unhappy with the Book of Boba Fett. People aren't happy about how the character Boba Fett has been treated. People aren't happy about the way certain things are shot. They're not happy about the mods and how they visually are off-putting. Um, from the Tatooine aesthetic, if you will. So yeah, right now, I think it's a generally favorable view of the Book of Boba Fett, but there are a lot of complaints. However, this hopefully is not stopping you from watching the show, and there's a really good reason that you should continue to watch the Book of Boba Fett until the end. So, if you've been with Star Wars television for a while, then you are familiar with Dave Filoni and more recently with Jon Favreau and their works. There's a good chance that some of your favorite Star Wars stories are from these creators, specifically in Star Wars TV. And that's what I want to talk about right now. So, let's go all the way back to Star Wars The Clone Wars animated series with Dave Filoni. So, back when Star Wars The Clone Wars started out, people were not happy with the character Ahsoka Tano, who was one of the main characters of that show. A lot of people thought that she was too whiny, that she was an annoying character, um, and people also complained about some of the different episodes that we get. So there's some episodes that were very action-packed, very clone-centric. Those episodes were always very popular. There are other episodes that might have been more silly, or maybe they focused on droids or Jar Jar Binks. But either way, I think as much as we all fondly look back at the Clone Wars, there was undoubtedly a mixed response depending on the kind of episodes that came out. Now, the nice thing about Star Wars The Clone Wars is that you got so many different stories. Now, there's probably a lot of you who did not get into Clone Wars until after it had already aired. However, if you had watched the most recent season, Season 7, which premiered recently on Disney Plus, then you have already gotten a bit of taste about people's response. As a lot of people loved the 7th season of The Clone Wars, however, the episodes prior to the season finale had a lot of mixed responses. The Bad Batch episodes that we got had already been released, so it wasn't new content. The episodes with Trace and Rafa got a lot of bad responses because people did not like them as characters, and they thought that it was progressing too slow. That being said, the Clone Wars season finale is universally loved. And part of the reason that the Clone Wars finale works is because of all these little threads throughout the entire series that pay off in the finale. Threads like the Mandalorian culture being introduced in Season 2 of the Clone Wars, or Savage Opress, Darth Maul's brother, who gets introduced in the 3rd season, who then later introduces us to Darth Maul coming back into Star Wars canon. There are even elements in the Trace and Rafa story that directly tie into the Clone Wars season finale. So all of these elements in the Clone Wars have led to that ending that we all love. Now moving on to Star Wars Rebels, another show that people love, but also had a lot of slack as it was airing. People, again, did not like Ezra. He was annoying. People complained that there were a lot of filler episodes. I remember one of the episodes that people liked to complain about was an episode in which the crew of Rebels essentially rescues these space whales. So while it offered a new bit of lore, it was not prevalent to the rest of Season 2 when it aired. However, fast forward to the end of Rebels, spoiler alert, Ezra uses the space whales to defeat Thrawn. So that one episode that didn't seem to be important was the episode where Ezra defeats Thrawn in the grand finale of the Rebels TV show. Now looking back at Rebels, characters like Ezra are loved, and we're all excited to hopefully see him and Thrawn in the Ahsoka series. Now moving on to live action. The Mandalorian is seen as overall a universally loved show. However, even during its initial air, there were a lot of complaints after the first 3 episodes. people complained that episodes 4 through 6 were really filler, very episode of the week, and didn't offer much in the grand scheme of the plot. It is in those episodes where we get introduced to big characters like Cara Dune, where we get introduced to Fennec Shan and Boba Fett, we get introduced to Bill's Burr character and the New Republic. There's a lot of good stuff in that episode, but as it was airing, people thought maybe the show's just going to be like this forever. However, we get to see Moff Gideon later in that finale, and they bring a lot of characters back in. And I remember as the 7th episode came out, where Boba Fett's getting all the characters he met throughout the season back together to go against Moff Gideon, people are like, oh, okay, I now see what's going on. Then the 2nd season comes out, and we get even more from those episodes. We see more of the New Republic. Bill Burr comes back. We find out that that mysterious figure saves Fennec Shand, and that mysterious figure is Boba Fett. So all these little threads help establish things like the Book of Boba Fett in future Star Wars series. Even the 2nd season of The Mandalorian still got some slack, although less so, but particularly the 2nd and 4th episode, I remember people complaining that the story was dragging on, that they weren't getting to the point. However, if you remember, in the 2nd season of The Mandalorian, the trailers we got only showed footage of the first 4 episodes. After the 4th episode, it was completely new territory. And that new territory ended up being live-action Ahsoka, Boba Fett returning, Luke Skywalker returning. All these big elements that we love came from that hidden bit of Mandalorian that we never got to see in the trailers. We are now in a similar place with the Book of Boba Fett, as all of the trailer footage has been shown. The last 3 episodes of the series are completely new territory. I think there's a lot to be excited for in these next 3 episodes, but the broader point is look at the history of Star Wars television. The things that we may not like at the beginning of the Book of Boba Fett could pay off. Now, it might not even pay off by the end of this season, but it could pay off in the next season. It could pay off in the Ahsoka series or another future series. It could even be establishing a series and we don't even know about yet. While it's fine not to like the episodes, it's fine not to like certain elements of the episodes, and we should always fight for the best quality in these stories, in these characters. I think it's important to remember where Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have taken us before. I think at this point we owe Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau a little credit for where they've taken us and a little trust in where they're going to take us in the future. Well, guys, that is all I got for today. Please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Maybe talk about maybe a Star Wars story that you initially were not a big fan of, but now in hindsight, looking back, you actually have fond memories of that story and enjoy going back to it.